this orange device that was a bit scammy, but didn't do much. But basically, one of their key pitches was that you can order pizza right from the device, right? So this is something that you can create yourself with MCPs. So basically, imagine like previously you had to like open pizzahut.com, head over to select like you want a pepperoni pizza with some cheese, and then after that you hit checkout and then it gets delivered to you. But imagine in the future you can just sit in front of ChatGPT or Claude, you type I want to order a pizza from Pizza Hut. Maybe you be more specific. I want to order a pepperoni pizza from Pizza Hut, and it will go ahead make the order for you and update you right within your ChatGPT or Claude without you having to exit this app at all. And that's really the appeal. Like you basically it makes obsolete any interactions with UI, but I may be overgeneralizing it a bit. Some visualization of the UI is always beneficial in some sense. So basically, for a more business use case, it would be like, suppose you have a shit ton of data online, and you want to perform some analysis and then push the data out somehow. Maybe opening up this. So you should check out the website to see some ideas that we have of potential use cases. So if you are in a business, you can have like a sales lead outreach tool, you have an influencers research tool, and a performance marketing tool. So basically, things that you have to ask someone to do, you can prepare an endpoint in Databutton, and all you have to do is go to Claude, type in what you want, and it will run that function for you. So yeah, and you can get started here, and there are some frequently asked questions, and this should make it clearer why we have MCPs in the first place. So to generalize, to sort of like sum it up, for a business, MCPs are good because they can allow you to write functions that pulls data to your Claude server, to your Claude client, perform some analysis with Claude, like you can discuss the document details with Claude, and then have some action that you want to do. So you just tell Claude, read the data from last quarter. What do you think is the biggest pain point or the bottleneck in the last quarter? And then once it responds, you'll be like, okay, collate this into points and submit and send an email to the team. And you'll do it all for you. You don't have to exit Claude at all. Yeah, so that's really the we're seeing a Discord. Yes, okay. So yeah, I wanted to show you this. So if you go to, oh my, this is messy. Yeah. So once you have everything set up, you have like configure MCP, you enable your MCP, you hit copy, you save it to your Claude client, you deploy the app, then you can head over to Claude. 1 second. You head over to Claude and you can start new chat. So if you see here, you can sort of see the tools that is exposed from the Databutton app. So from server Databutton app, and that's when you know it's from your Databutton application MCP server. So you can simply ask it, what MCP tools from Databutton do I have? And you should see that so you have to keep clicking allow for this chat, like for some security issues. So it would display all the tools that we have. And if you notice, these tools corresponds to these tools here. I mean, I updated some functions that I haven't deployed yet. But you can see check health, add numbers, subtract numbers. You have check health, add numbers, subtract numbers. All of these are the tools from your MCP server. And what is 1 plus 3? And it will use the tool to perform this calculation for you. So so imagine get two numbers is like your your business data. So fetch me two numbers. So instead of like two numbers, it could be just like fetch me the data from last quarter, and then it will show you these two numbers, right? And then now you say, using those numbers, what do you think the power of number 1 number 1 to the power of number 2 is. So you use the power numbers tool, and this is what I meant by the analysis portion. So you fetch the data, you fetch your business data here, perform some analysis with Claude here, and this analysis could include the tools that you use with Claude. And then afterwards, you could I think you could send the data somewhere. So maybe I can maybe I have a tool that's like send email to Avra, and then I just say send the result to Avra.
Did
But
you
in this case,
already,
I have not
added
had
that
a tool yet.
Okay, you haven't.
Yeah, so so whenever you add an endpoint, you have to remember to deploy it so that Claude can fetch from your MCP server, from your Databutton MCP server. But this basically exemplifies fetching, analysis, and then pushing the data out. And that's really all the actions that you have. So imagine you're training a secretary. And to train a secretary, the way you train it is basically to create APIs for it. Okay, create these functions for it so that once you say something, it will know exactly what to do. And then eventually, once you have built up sufficient tools, such as these endpoints, and by tools we sort of mean endpoints, once you've built up sufficient amount of tools, you can just go to Claude and you can do anything you want. So suppose Pizza Hut, yeah.
Sorry, Jan, I just wanted to because the question was your Pizza Hut question. There's a question from Largo Grande, but yeah, large. Oh, sorry, large Ola Grande. Nice. Okay. And then the question was, but this was also possible before by using an API from Pizza Company in your app, right? It's now only easier to integrate because you have multiple API in one MCP server. The API tells the app how it was used. Yeah, that's a very valid point, actually. What do you think, Jian?
Yeah. So previously, you had to write the code yourself, integrate everything yourself, connect everything yourself. And previously, you couldn't access it through a Claude client or like ChatGPT. But now you can. Now you can access all via Claude or via ChatGPT. And then, if Avra has an MCP server, I have an MCP server. Suppose Avra's MCP server is to create a story idea. Like it generates a story idea and it returns a story idea. And my MCP server fetches financial data. What I can do is within Claude, I can connect to both MCP servers at once. So suppose your friends all have MCP servers. You get their MCP server, you add it to Claude, and then you have access to all the tools that your friends have made. And this can blow up quite quickly. So if every one of you makes a unique tool and we all connect to each other's MCP server, we instantly have access to many more tools and we don't even have to make them ourselves. I hope that's clear.
And there is a question. This is example. Yeah, I think that's a very nice way to show it. Gian, if you can enlarge that particular diagram which Baba shared just now. Yeah, it's a very nice way to show that. Yeah, it makes sense. There's an MCP agent which has access to a lot of tools and which decides which one to choose based on like right now, Gian was going to Claude, let's say, and from that particular let's say the UI, he was trying to access the different tools which the server has access to. Because in Databutton, we are deploying or we are creating all the server at one place. And now from Claude, you can access each of them in a way where it chooses which tool to go for. It should be Airtable execution or it's a Firecrawl or I think it's a Brave, like all this, you can go for any browser. You have this power from one place. Arnav wants to say, sure. So let's say I had an AI agent in my trader Troja app where traders can build out their trade plan and run trade ideas. The agent was intended to be filled in a chat to the agent to this process record. Is that right? Yeah, you can exactly. You can do that. And you can use it in a different way. Just one way to showcase that you have this power to have a server which can choose the different tools when it's necessary based on the need.
Yeah. So
it's a very good question.
For Mike's
I don't know,
question,
Jane, if you want to address that question.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So for Mike's question, the last part, what if they don't have Claude? So currently Claude Anthropic is the one who came up with this MCP thing. But GPT is likely, OpenAI is likely to integrate it as well. So yeah, it should be a standardized protocol. And how does Claude know which tool it should use? So if you, let me open this. Right, so if you click learn more, you have our docs over here. And okay. So if you see this, to provide the MCP client more context about the tools you make, we recommend telling the Databutton agent to add Python docs to your endpoint. This will be included as part of the tool and thus instructions to your agent on how to use the tool.
Yeah, that's very important.
So if,
I think you can show that in the code part also, the calculator, the amount of talks it's writing there.
Yeah, so if you see in our template, we have a bunch of docs here. So these are basically docs. So if you give so say if you give somebody a tool, a hammer is a tool. If you give somebody a hammer, and then you write in the description, this is used to hit a nail. Next time the person wants to hit a nail, he will look for the description and find that hammer matches that description and use that hammer instead. Use the hammer to perform that task. So the agent is sort of reading this description and comparing it with your request and finding the tool, which is like this endpoint, that best matches your description. So if I say add two numbers, it reads add two numbers, and then you look for this endpoint and you perform that addition. So that's why having this Python docs here is very important. Yeah. You cannot select Databutton, that's fine.
Sorry?
Yeah, when there are two hammers in the toolbox, that might confuse the agent a bit, right? So that's why we have to like make sure they are sort of unique.
I think there's a nice way MSA, the person behind building this entire MCP server, because by the way, there is I don't know, at least anywhere, I don't know, Gian, if you know that there is any MCP server which is getting deployed yet. We haven't heard about it yet. More people will come up with, but MCP works very well locally, and we are not only creating it, we are deploying it. That's something which is very unique only to Databutton. At least I have not heard somewhere else who are deploying MCP server yet. And so MSA, we have 3 Martins. So one of those Martins actually built the center, worked on this for a long time. And for someone who is from coming from tech background, it's super cool stuff. So he was just hacking onto this stuff. And he says this way, MCP lets you put your own app APIs as tool in the hands of agents you do not control. So I think Largo, Grande, like the question is like, yeah, we lose a bit of control. You do not control it. So you are allowing the agent to control a lot of tools. You're giving this hammer to the hands of these tools, to this agent. You build tools as APIs in your Databutton. So right now in Databutton, we are building this tool, which is our backend, which we always had, and we are deploying it as an MCP server, giving it exposure to, and then that server has access by Claude, or if you are working with Cursor, you can always get access to it. We'll come with more examples. The better way to explain it to people, maybe like with a use case. So that's something which we are thinking that would help a lot. We're building templates on it. Gian is working on that template part, so a lot of templates will come out.
Yeah, and to sort of sum up Lagula and what how Avra quoted MSA, if you can think of Databutton MCP server, it's like a toolbox, and you are just creating the tools and putting them in the toolbox when you deploy an MCP server or when you create an endpoint. And this toolbox is connected to like Claude, and Claude can use these tools to perform actions, perform tasks on your behalf. And if you see earlier, we have like this pop-up that says whether you allow the agent to use this tool on your behalf. There's like a safety thing so that it doesn't like delete your database without you asking permission from you.
Yeah.
So thinking of it as a toolbox is quite helpful.
Yeah, I think those are really good questions, and it's really good. I think we should add on the FAQ part, Gian. I don't know. We should add
Yeah.
did more to part, but it's a great learning. And yeah, guys. So this is like one of the very first day. I think it's like just at a couple of hours back we just launched it. It's live for everyone now, uh, and it would be fantastic that if you guys try it out. We know there are a lot of hurdles for people sometime who is trying it for the first time. We totally understand that, and we are trying to make it as easier as possible. But the whole idea is it has huge and enormous amount of potential, and we want to be at the forefront of it. So please try it out, and we are trying to make it as easy as possible with more use cases. That would be something which we'll do in the coming days. We're building templates out of it, and yeah, and then more documentation part. We'll invest more on the documentation part in the coming days. So if you have any question, just feel free to write it down. I'm happy to answer, and you'll see more of us in the coming days, and we'll have more live streaming on this. And yeah, the whole idea that we'll do this launch in, let's say, next coming 1 or 2 days more, and we'll just go on. Fantastic, guys. I think this was great. Thanks, El. Thanks a lot for. Yeah, great stuff. We will keep this competition open. As I said, we'll keep it open for the next at least until Monday, if I'm not wrong. And we will be love to see a use case out of it. And then yeah, we'll be happy to ship some merch which we are working on. And yeah, that's all. Just write to us over any of these channels. We have a closed channel also with people who are interested in, but now it's all live, so you can write in any of the channels. And that's it. And thank you guys. Thanks a lot for all the nice questions. Really appreciate it. Yes, and thanks, Jian, for jumping in.
Thank you. Thanks, Al, for presenting earlier.
Yeah, like thanks a lot. But I think this is fantastic. I mean, we really are at the forefront of tech, and I think we have a lot to leverage from here. And also, especially with you guys from the community, would love to see more people using it. Yes, there is a learning curve on this kind of things which comes up like data, but nobody knew how to build a full stack app with LLM 6 months back, and today here we are talking about everything possible on Earth. So it's exciting times, and it's very exciting times, and we really feel that MCP has a huge opportunity open for all of us. Very powerful. Great. See you guys soon. Yes, that's a good panel. Yeah. So if you guys post your own use case over social media, the team will provide you with the credits. We can just go beyond that also, right? Give it to share it, the post over Discord, or L is the one who is leading this part from the community side. So please, L, if someone reaches us, just let us know, and it will be fantastic. And we will choose 3 use cases, which is super nice too, and we'll love to encourage more of these use cases. Perfect. You can just go for X means Twitter, LinkedIn, any places. Just just go all over the place, and we'll launch our product hunt as well. And yeah, and just add a short, let's say a demo video would be fantastic, because our main thing is about, like, it's a solution. MC provides a solution, so you have to have a use case that will be fantastic to yeah. How did you guys access the MC program? Just so there's a template which Gian already baked for us. It's out there in that particular, yeah, there where it is. where you have to go and you can just add your own backend and then start playing around with it. That's the point which sorry, that's the playground where you can just play with it and try it out and then build your own backends. It's as simple as writing a prompt. Say that, hey, I want to build a backend which connects to Reddit, let's say. Databutton will write the entire backend. We'll do a entire a live demo on Monday over YouTube. But before that, also I'll come over Discord and do a live stream also. So you can just say, I want to build this backend, and then you just deploy that backend with enabling MCP. That's all. And then you can talk with that MCP from your cursor or from your Claude or from any places, as long as it has access to MCP servers. That's all. So we are not only building custom MCP server, but we are deploying that also, and that makes it way more powerful. And that's what one of the first messages which I think in today's stream we wanted to give, and we'll come with more examples. That's it. Yeah. Right. So I'm closing it now, and thank you all. Thank you all for being here, and it's great to discuss such like at the very edge of the take. We are enjoying time, exciting times. Yeah. Cheers, guys. Perfect. Perfect. Cheers.